the 24th of June today. It's a little bit breezy out here, so I hope you can hear me okay. But most importantly, it is not raining and the sun is shining. I haven't been up here for a couple of days because it has been pouring with rain. I have been blogging a little bit about it. The other night, when was it? Wednesday night, we had about 1.75 inches of rain in one evening. Was not impressed at all. It's supposed to be hot and sunny and beautiful, and I should be in shorts and a vest top, but as you can still see, I'm still in a t-shirt and I'm actually in sort of some fairly thin trousers. It's warm, but it's very, very muggy, but it's not what it should be in June. So come on, weather, sort yourselves out. But today is good. Fingers crossed it stays that way all the time. I want to be down here. So what I'm going to do today is I've got some more brassicas to put in. I'm going to put in some cabbages today, and I'm going to do what I did with some other brassicas that I sowed the other day, and I'm going to sow them in between the sweet corn coming up. Now the brassicas that I sowed in between one lot of sweet corn over behind us, because they're not netted, because they're in between the sweet corn, and I was hoping the leaves would protect them. They seem to be. Not one of them seems to have been attacked by a bird. So it seems to be working. Fingers crossed it will still work. So I'm going to do the same thing in this bed of sweet corn. So I've got quite a few cabbages. I've got some here and I've got a load more in the greenhouse. So I'm gradually going to work my way through them. These ones are called Cabbages. I've sown lots of cabbages this year. Some for us, some for the chooks. They all seem to be doing really well. The ones that I've got over here are doing exceptionally well. They're all about this sort of size, which is fabulous. I'll give you a quick look of those in a minute, but let's plant these and I'll show you how I'm going to plant them in between the sweet corn. Okay, so what I've done is I'm not doing them on the same line as the sweet corn. I'm actually doing them slightly, I'm sort of in between each of the lines. So the first line will actually be very close to the path, which doesn't matter because it means that they bush out and they'll go over. It's only the root space that you need to leave enough gap between the edge of the bed and how far the root will go out, which is about 3 inches. Okay, so they are spaced about 9 inches apart from each other, which is okay. They should hopefully create a nice ground cover, and the sweet corn will grow above them, and hopefully, because they've created a nice ground cover, or they will, then it will stop the weeds from coming through, but only time will tell. So make sure that you remove any weeds that are already in the bed, and then just dig a nice deep hole, and again these will need to go in the soil a little bit deeper than they were in the pot. So once you've got your nice deep hole, just support your plant with a couple of fingers, turn it upside down, squeeze it, squeeze the pot, and it should come out nicely. Now you can see that there's all these roots here and they are ready and raring to leave that pot and to go into the soil. So put them in the bed, in the hole that you've made, bring the soil all the way round, give it a good push down to make sure it's nice and firm, and that's that one done. So I'll just do all the rest and then I'll come back to you when I'm done. There are all the cabbages. There's actually 2 varieties in there. There's Cabbages, and there's also some Advantage, which I needed to get in as well, but I would plant those in exactly the same way. Now you can most probably see that there's a stick here, and I've actually got a bottle on top here. I've got quite a few of these dotted all over the bed. This is another good way of scaring away the birds, because the wind will get underneath the bottle and will shake it, and it will move it, and it'll make a noise, and it will scare the birds away. It's always best to use this and another protection, excuse me, because just the bottles on their own just tend not to do a brilliant job. But the fact that I've got the sweet corn here as well and the bottles, hopefully, fingers crossed, it will work. Now you also, if your soil is dry when you've put your cabbages in, make sure that you give them a good water in, and then protect them from the slugs and snails in whichever way you would like. So I'm not going to water mine in because the soil is so wet, because we've had so much rain. It's not necessary. But obviously if your soil is dry, then do. But let me show you the cabbages that went in first and how they're getting on. Now these cabbages, the bigger ones, I think they've been in for about 4 weeks. It may be a week longer, but they've not been in for a huge amount of time. They must have gone in maybe the middle or 2/3 of the way through May, but as you can see, they're really quite large now. They're filling out quite nicely in the middle, but we've got lots of leaves on them and they just seem to be doing really well. I've got the little ones that I've sown in between, and they've been in for about a week now, so they seem to have taken very well. So hopefully in about 4 weeks' time, the smaller ones and also the ones that I've just put in will be coming up to sort of the size that these are, but I'm really pleased with these. Right, now all the cabbages are in. Now what I'm going to plant now are the Brukale. Now I've got a bed, a fairly small bed here. I did want to extend the bed because I don't know if you can see, I've got a compost heap behind, which actually I've really been using as a bit of a dumping ground for a load of rubbish. And I wanted to move all of that and take it down the tip. However, I'm not sure if you can see, I can't take it apart because, like the compost heap over there, this compost here, bees are living in it, bumblebees are living in it. So I'm unable to take that down yet until the winter, and then I'll make sure that they've all pootled off somewhere else and gone and hibernated, and then I'll take it down. I haven't been able to do half the bed, all of the bed, because I'm getting very close to where the bees are going in and out of the compost heap, and I don't want to annoy them because bumblebees are very useful. So I'm going to plant the Brukale that I can in this bed, and then the rest I'm going to plant in between the sweet corn because I've still got some spaces left. So let me just show you how the Brukale are getting on. I've got lots of them. Okay, they're quite wet. There we are. There they are. They're quite small actually. Brukale are cross between Brussels and kale. So they started to grow really well to start with, and now they just seem to have stopped. So I'm hoping that once I put them outside that they'll just suddenly blossom, but only time will tell. So let me show you how I'm going to plant these out in the ground. Okay, now I'm going to plant these about 9 inches apart from each other. I'm going to do some here. I won't stay here for very long because I'm actually starting to make the bees get a bit stressed, and they're starting to get a bit sort of flitty, and the last thing I want is to get stung. So I'll just do some over here. I'll let the bees calm down and then I'll carry on doing the rest. So make sure that you dig the soil over and that you take out any weeds. Dig a nice hole from them. These should go a little bit lower down in the soil than they were in the pot. These should grow fairly tall. I'm hoping about 2 foot possibly, but we'll soon see. So take it out of its pot, and as you can see there's lots of lovely roots growing in there, so it's ready to come out into the big wide world. Put it in its hole and then fill that hole round with compost and then firm it in. Like all brassicas, make sure you firm it in well because it's going to get quite tall, and if you don't firm it in well enough, then if it gets too tall and too top heavy, then it will fall over. so about 9 inches or so apart from each other, and then put the next one in exactly the same. So I'll carry on. I'll do as many of these as I can without annoying the bees, the bumblebees, so too much, and when I've done them then I'll come back to you. Now I just thought I'd show you this. I've just taken this out of a pot. This is one of the Brukale, and inside, can you see all of these eggs? Now these, you can see that they're actually starting to form, and they look like they're going to be snails. Now we clearly don't want these. Slugs and snail eggs are tiny little see-through round balls, and as they develop then they change ever so slightly, but if you look very carefully they look like they're going to be snails because they've got that swirl of the shell. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep this plant, but I'm going to flick out all of these eggs onto the grass, and hopefully the birds will start to peck these up because they'll really enjoy them. I don't know if you, let me see if I can, if you look really carefully, there's one, can you see this one here? It's got a very tiny, it's sort of starting to emerge. If you look very carefully at them, sometimes their little heads come out and then go back in again. But I'm going to flick all of these out, but I just thought I'd show you them because annoying but fascinating. Well, I've managed to get 20 in there. I would normally have put some more slightly further up the end, but it's actually getting too close to where the bees are going into the compost heap, so I thought I would give them that little bit of space because I don't want to get stung. Now what you need to do next is you need to protect your brassicas from the slugs and snails, and you also need to make sure that you net them because otherwise the birds will find these very tasty. So that's those. I would normally water them in, but as I say, because it's been so wet, the soil is just so wet and damp, it doesn't need to be. Now I've still got a few left to put in, so I will put those in and around the sweet corn as I did with the cabbages and some other brassicas. Right, well I've just got all the Brukale in, which is great. I've put some of them between the sweet corn, so hopefully they'll be okay. I'm getting there, I'm so close, I'm in grasping reach of everything being done. The only things that I've got left to plant out are a few sunflowers and some leeks. My leeks need to go out, but I haven't got time to do that now because I've got to go somewhere else. But I have been down here for about 3.5 hours and I've got an awful lot done. I'm really, really pleased with the fact that I've actually managed to get all the brassicas done. So that's lovely. So hopefully if Monday is dry, I will see you again then. We will get the leeks in and we will get the sunflowers in, and then everything will be in, and then I can concentrate fully on finishing the paths, wood chipping those and doing weeding. So we're getting there slowly but surely. Well, I hope you found what I've shown you today useful, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.